Hello everyone, my name is Toda Sunny. Welcome to overview of federal cybersecurity and data privacy of law dictionary. The comparative of the article shades of the light of the made cybersecurity and data privacy laws in the United States. Today we will navigate through the seeing of regulation of the contracting of the sector specific of the nature of the US in the laws with a more united approaches of the Union. Firstly, we are the signing of the Cyber Act of the like SOXOX, and this is the mandate of the reliable financial disclosure from the public trade of the corporation and CEOs and CFCs. And CEOs and CFCs like facing of the several services of the reputation of the false certifications, and including the penalties of the impunishment. Next, we can see as the SEC regulation SP, which is applies for the registration and enters like the brokers and the investments films, and it emphasizes the importance of the writing of the policies of record of the client records and the safeguard against of the unauthorized access and non-complaining can be lead of the several penalties. Then these grams of the least bill of the act like the GLBA, we are targeting the financial institutes with a robot information security program with the violations of the penalty of the leading of the penalty excess of the 1 million of the even FDIC insurance of termination. And you have the and here is the Federal Tariff Commission Act of S5 broadly covers the most US entities of the bearing some expectations like the common carriers of the banks, and the FTC enforcing this law of regulation with the scientific of the infractions. We also have the health insurance like the HIPAA and accountability of the probability. It is of the regulates of the health insurance care related to the entire of the outlines of the complaint guidelines with a varying consequence based upon the based upon the nature and the severity of the violations, and Defense Federal Relations Act Acclusions Regulation or DFA or efforts of the U.S. departments of the defense of the contractors complaints with NIST. It's 800171 guidelines of the mandatory with non-complaining risk department and the chain online product act of the COPPA. COPPA sets as the segments rules for the digital platforms of the catering minor under 13 of the children of the age, the FTC, and also imposing the heavy fines of for the violation, and the client involving of the clinical of the involving of the medical products of the FDA regulations for the electronic records of the applying the FDA and force of the rules focusing on the integrity, the common features of the trading commission of the or you known as the CFTC regulations is requires the comparison of the information security of for the entires of the driving clearing of the business with service several civil penalties of the non-compliance. The Electronic Communication Privacy Act and the Storing Communication also aim to be cloud of the unlawful of the surveillance and offering the criminal sanction on the private rights of the action of the violence. Although we have the invaluable of the European countries of the Justice, EU and US Privacy Shield of the highlights compatibility of the cross-border data transfer arguments. In the Act of the 1974, we'll call as a FPA, governments how the US federal entities of the handle the personal identification of the information with the potential lockouts and fines and redments of the volumes. And lastly, the proposing of the customer privacy product of the Act on 2017 still under the consideration of the aims of the enhancing the personal information product applying for the organization to manage the sensitive data in a significant of the number of in US in